Hello, welcome back to Vision Pro Journal. In this episode, I want to demonstrate this Logitech MUSE Pen for Apple Vision Pro. I got this a day early, actually, before the release of Vision Pro M5. And I don't know, Apple didn't actually have any demonstration of this stylus, which is like a third party. It's not Apple Pencil Pro or anything. But supposedly this stylus will work with Apple Vision Pro and some apps that actually support the feature. So currently I have this SketchPro on the iPad. I want to have the iPad here as well because I want to show you something that's kind of interesting. So this is one of the app that actually supporting the MUSE Pen. Yes, I'll just use the default canvas. The transparent feature is actually interesting. Maybe I should just use transparent for now. So by default, we can choose the canvas whether we want it to be horizontal or vertical. I'll just pick vertical for now. Confirm orientations. Placement seems excuse me. Placement seems to be correct. I just confirm placement because at the moment I have this wall and just the floor, right? Ideally, you just have wall and maybe a table. So this app is using some kind of volume. And we have a bit of option here to choose. Logitech MUSE, which is this guy over here. We can actually use Apple Pencil or an iPad, which is the one I want to show you this. Let's just connect. Okay, sometimes this app have a little bit of issue with bounding. So that's a password for me to connect the Vision Pro, this app, and iPad. Okay, that means I need to use the Apple Pencil. Yeah, I have to demonstrate this first. Zoom in and out, use two hands, double tap, undo, triple tap, canvas. Okay, this is all the directions how to use these tools. As you can see, I'm actually using Apple Pencil and the iPad. And the nice thing about this, the iPad being physical and you get used to the pencil, so you kind of have like a graphic tablet, just like Wacom. It's actually very performance, and you can see also the Apple Pencil have some kind of indicator when the pencil is everywhere you put the pencil. Okay, so this is actually quite neat features. And let me just change this. Okay, this app have a few bugs, I believe. So like I said, you need to have the right arrangement of setting. Like a small room with a wall and a table would be perfect, or just a wall, just a clear wall. And now I'm painting, right? And I can change the brush as usual. I actually quite like the brush number 3. If I could select it. This placement needs to be perfect. And I can use this brush. Yeah, this is my favorite brush, like a marker. I can pick a color, and it's very performance. And you have a physical iPad and a pencil, and I thought this is actually kind of perfect setup for the Vision Pro if you like to use iPad. If you have this Apple ecosystem, this is one of the best setup so far. So you can also use your finger, of course, but you cannot touch there. And yeah, unfortunately, maybe they should combine the iPad. Yeah, but it feels like fingers painting. I cannot use multiple fingers, but overall this is kind of nice. Okay, let's switch to the actual Logitech MUSE. Okay, Logitech MUSE. if I'm able to connect to this MUSE. So I'm holding the power button here. So the MUSE, the way it works now, there's a bug here. I cannot actually tap done. No matter what, I need to tap this thing again twice. So if the MUSE actually connected, I actually get this virtual pad. The pad doesn't have orientation, so that's one caveat there. But yeah, if this working correctly, let me clear this. If this actually work, I should be able to see green points here on the MUSE. I think I sent feedback to the developer. The app has a couple of bugs, so it's not optimized. It's not fully optimized yet. I need to check with the setting. Okay, Logitech MUSE connected. I should be able to. Oh, okay. Okay, there's a green dot. I should be able to see the green dot there and start drawing. And clicking on this should actually make it working. It should trigger the pad. The drawing pad is now disappear. I will try again. Restarting everything. What I've found so far, the app is not fully optimized. That's sometimes it's a little bit slow. It's a bit laggy. Let's try custom orientations, confirm placement. Okay. If this work, I should be able to see green dot and start painting. And apparently it doesn't work. Doesn't work. I'm holding the top button. Now it should be on, right? I should be able to see the tip. And yeah, I think it's gonna be another fail demonstration of the Logitech MUSE. It's very slightly annoying. I tried this a few times. I want to demonstrate this, how to make this to work. I will try to pair this again. Turning on. Now it's on. Connected. Logitech MUSE. Let's try. Okay, finger mode. Finger mode is like this. You can paint this way using Vision Pro, and I want to be able to use this Logitech MUSE. Come on, pair. Come on, pair with this. Done. Okay, doesn't work. They might need to update the firmware again. Forget device. I will try to repair holding this two button, the top button and the bottom button. So there are actually three buttons. The power button, the middle button which is like pressure sensitive, and then the bottom part. Pair. Now it's paired. Green button should appear at the tip of this thing. Connected. Logitech MUSE, done. Why it's not, why I still cannot see the green part? I think the app is buggy, so the app developer needs to fix that. Okay, welcome back to my Vision Pro journal. Currently, I'm demonstrating this Logitech MUSE that's supposed to work with Apple Vision Pro, and I'm using this third-party app called SketchPro, and we should have something working. Oh, okay, as you can see with the MUSE over here, the tip of the Logitech MUSE stylus appears green in front of Vision Pro if the app actually working properly. And the idea is you can start doodling on this thing if you press this button. Okay, let me try to explain this again properly. Okay, so basically we have this virtual pad, and if the tip of the stylus on top of this virtual pad, even if it's kind of floating, we can kind of project and raycast the point. So I could be, let me try to reorient this using my Vision Pro. Okay, I'm holding the button, the right button of Vision Pro. So I put this pad here on the floor. Now I can draw from this point and draw a line to that point over there. It gives me this diagonal line, so it's more precise supposedly. And I could be up here, and then I can do like a spiral drawing, and that's basically how this thing works when it works properly. Because I made a video a few times before this video, and I couldn't make this to work until now. All right, this app called SketchPro, and this app actually support Logitech MUSE. And if I can tap there, the app has a few kind of like a glitch. The app support Logitech MUSE, Apple Pencil and iPad, and finger mode. Apple Pencil and iPad mode is actually very interesting. If you have iPad and Apple Pencil, you can have like a physical iPad, and you can actually use the Apple Pencil and draw. With the MUSE, of course, the one we are using here, so the app has a bug. I cannot tap done. I need to tap that and tap that again. So no. Okay. Anyhow, as you can see, there's a bit of lag. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. The fact that this is actually working on day one, yeah. And I'm currently using this transparent mode of the app, which is I thought is kind of interesting because we can see what's behind the screen. You can see there's a chair there, so I can kind of trace the chair in a weird way because the pad is there. It's not like I'm painting like that. So the stylus, of course, is a spatial. It's supposed to draw in 3D, and it is kind of drawing in 3D because I could be hovering. Oh man, this thing. I could be hovering here, and I can still paint. Okay, we have this freedom. That is not something you have if you have like a physical painting, unless you have like a spray maybe, but it's directly raycasting the point into the canvas. So I can write. For example, it feels like a calligraphy actually. you're kind of hovering, and you can paint because it's ray casting down. So that part I kind of like. It's unusual. Ideally, I want to be able to draw and in spatial, you know, like in 3D, and I can move around my body, not just sitting down here. The iPad and pencil setup allows you to have like a graphic tablet on your palm while you're drawing using Apple Vision Pro. But here, of course, with the stylus, you should be able to paint freely. So I should be able to stand and, you know, and start painting. I'm not making commercial art. It's just like, you can be very expressive. Okay, this thing slightly annoying. Anyway, I haven't explained the button. The stylus have multiple buttons. The power button up here, and then there are two buttons. This is more like right click. This one is actually like kind of like pressure sensitive, the one in the middle. And the bottom part, the bottom one, if I click, it gives me this thing, right? Like options. I want to pick the button. I want to select the brush, for example. Change the brush and continue to paint. Yeah, it does change my brush. It's not perfect currently the way it implemented. It doesn't feel too intuitive. It's kind of, yeah, okay. You hold the button and then tap it, and then this trackpad will move there. So I can put the trackpad here on my lap and start painting. I need to press this button in order to paint. My favorite brush is this guy over here. Let's try. Yeah, it's a bit crazy at the moment. Let's clear the canvas. Okay. I could reorient the canvas. I can put it here. I couldn't place it on the bottom on the floor. So okay, in the latest Vision OS 26, the bounding box cannot go through the floor. Okay, that's actually maybe good and bad. But anyhow, at least in this video, I am able to connect the stylus, which is like third party. It's not from Apple. It's not always give you the perfect experience. Ideally, it's Apple Pencil doing it. Maybe they're still designing Apple Pencil Pro 2 or something that's able to do what this guy is doing, the stylus. So the app is SketchPro, and hopefully other apps will support the stylus as well. It doesn't work with many other apps that Apple give inside Vision Pro. It doesn't, because it's third party, right? Supposedly the stylus will enable you to paint spatially in 3D space. This app, unfortunate, and I don't know, at least this app support the stylus on day one of the release of this stylus. Otherwise, this stylus have no functions. The stylus cost me $240 Australian dollars. $240 Australian dollars. It's not cheap. It's pretty expensive. I mean, Apple Pencil Pro is $150 or something or more. But if you have an iPad, you definitely need to buy Apple Pencil Pro, hopefully, if you have the latest iPad. But the old Apple Pencil is still working great, and you can do this using iPad, right? You don't need Vision Pro to be able to do this, but it's like virtual. You don't have anything. You only have something in front of your eyes, the VR things that people call the VR goggles, and you just start painting with the stylus. Yeah. I mean, you can paint using your finger, which is, you know, using finger is already kind of natural. Of course, the stylus with the green dot over here, supposedly tells you that, oh, this can be more precise. You can be more precise. There's a bit of lag. But you can be more precise that you can put the points there and then draw the points, point to points, and that draws exactly on that spot. If you use your finger, it's probably give you a similar experience. Finger mode. Oh, the app is even more laggy with the finger. Wow. Less laggy with the MUSE. If you want to draw from that point to that point, it's a little bit more difficult, but with the stylus, you know, it's a lot easier. That's the main point of the app, obviously. But I wish this app is more 3D. So holding this while I'm floating, I can draw spiral. And the points is of course being shown while doing this. I can see the dots. It's slightly unnatural. If I want to draw that chair, it's slightly unnatural if this ray casting points down there. If I have something on the floor, maybe I could trace it, but this pad also needs to be more transparent. So it's a little bit funny. So let's change the orientations of the canvas. So this cannot go through the wall, through the floor, and it's kind of floating in front of me, which is weird. If I'm standing, I don't know, it's still kind of weird. And I couldn't tap on it because the Vision OS 26 doesn't allow you to tap whatever inside the wall. Well, that's something. That's quite something. Anyhow, this is my first experience with the stylus. It's not great, but it has a lot of potential, especially because the stylus also works with iPad and iPhone. This button can trigger some functions on the iPad and iPhone. Not on the Vision Pro. I mean, Vision Pro, you need to have the app, third-party app, and this third-party stylus will need to connect to the app. It needs to support the stylus. So it needs that kind of system enabled for you, as a user, to have ability to use the stylus. Okay. What does it mean? It has a lot of potential, but just the app needs to work perfectly. And otherwise, you cannot do work properly. You cannot do anything, basically. If the stylus doesn't support any app, you can't really use it. I wish it could just work as a mouse, you know, inside an iPad. Yeah, inside a Vision Pro, like you don't need to carry a mouse all the time. I'm carrying the wireless keyboard so I can type into Vision Pro. Stylus should ideally work as a mouse, you know, if you are in the Vision Pro environment. Okay. This app have a neat feature, however. As you can see, I could be in this environment and no, I couldn't paint. Can I still paint? No. It's just a little bit weird sometimes with this app. The most ideal environment is to use the iPad, Apple Pencil, and connect it here. Connect the two, but in order to do that, you need to have a Wi-Fi network that's actually reliable. You need to be inside a room with a Wi-Fi connection so you can connect the iPad, Apple Pencil into the Vision Pro, and you can work that way. With Logitech MUSE, you don't need that. You just need to ensure you can see the pad and to have this app actually work. As you can see, the stylus actually stopped working. I think it's a bug. I think it's a bug with this app. If the green points disappear, you can't draw anymore. It's just stopped working, which is kind of too bad. So if Apple is going to demonstrate the Logitech MUSE and the Apple Vision Pro, it needs to be perfect. It needs to be working perfectly. Currently, it seems to be like still in beta. The stylus works, but only, you know, only if it works, only if it connects to the app and connects to the Vision Pro. Now, it is actually connected in the setting, but just I'm not seeing it. Just weird. Logitech MUSE connected, everything connected. I don't see the green dot anymore. Maybe because I turn on the environment and then everything disappeared. I cannot tap the button. Yeah, it doesn't work. But anyhow, you can always go back to the finger mode and start painting back to default way to work. This method, okay, this is cool. Back to finger. It's not precise, you know, but you know, it's at least it works. So the MUSE thing, if it works perfectly and then it works in 3D, it's the best method of working. Look at this. The app actually have a lot of potential. If you think about it, you can trace the chair. The canvas is limited into the square, but you know, whatever you see here, of course, in front of you, normally you cannot have transparency. But now you can sort of paint over it. So from 3D become 2D because you kind of crop it. And so the wall is a bit white color, but I wanted to use blue color. People say, oh, but you are tracing the view, right? You're only tracing, you're not really painting. Well, actually, tracing is a way of learning. Many people didn't know that. Every artist actually trace at some point. You can use imagination, of course, but to be able to do this, to see what in front of you and then imagine the canvas in front of you, and you are actually tracing the objects that way. That's actually a method of learning to paint. You look at the color and you try to trace on top of that, things like that. You try to see the light and the shadows, things like that, like the art school 101. Not everyone goes to art school again, and not everyone have art skill. That's what people like you to believe, but I believe that everyone have some kind of art skill, and everyone can enjoy painting. That's the whole idea. Now I'm going too far from trying to you know, review this pen, the stylus pen. Okay, I give a score of 3 out of 5. It could be better, to be honest. I need to review this again with a proper 3D spatial doodle app. Spatial doodle app. What is spatial doodle app? Spatial doodle app is like app like crayons. Do I have crayons here? I have AirDraw. I did this a couple of times. Okay, this app, of course, you just doodle. And I wish the stylus able to do this. I think the app needs to support it, yes. Ideally, the app can use this right away, out of the box, because I pay a lot for this stylus. Yeah, ideally. It's not always ideal. Supposedly the app Crayon is supporting it. Crayon. So this is a Crayon app. I can begin the experience. Okay, so this app is super interesting. I might have demonstrated the app at some point. I hope this app could support the stylus, so I can draw in 3D more precisely on the tip of the points, draw in 3D, and able to save it. This app doesn't allow you to save or export. Unfortunately, a lot of things are pretty limited. But this is what Vision Pro is good for, doodling in spatial. And the stylus should give more on top of that because of the tip of the points. Oh well. Let's see in few months time or something. In my future video, hopefully I can review this stylus again with more confidence, and hopefully more apps will support the stylus. It has a lot of potential. It should work as a mouse as well, and it should work for iPhone, maybe stylus for iPhone, because it has this tip. You want to be able to hold your iPhone and draw on top of it, right? I don't know, maybe. All right, so that's the review, quick review of this Logitech MUSE stylus. Okay, you guys, you need to do more. The developer needs to support the stylus in order for the whole setup to work for Vision Pro user. All right, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Thank you.